So welcome to An Energy. It's a platform for conversations with people who have knowledge about how we can improve our health, energy, and well-being. I'm all about living our life purpose and potential. And with that, we need, our health, and we need to take care of ourselves. So here I have with me Sari Parkinson from Sydney, Australia. I'm super excited to have you with me, Sari.
Thank you so much, Anina. It's really exciting and lovely to meet you. Good to see you again.
So I understand that you are a metabolic health coach, and I think that sounds really interesting, and we're going to dive into that. But you have in the past been a speech pathologist. You are a mother of 3, and you are passionate about connecting with people, which I am too. I love connecting with people. So it was lovely to meet with you. And you are also passionate about improving the well-being of mature women. So
Absolutely.
we have a lot in common. Yes. So, I'd like to ask the question, who are you if you were to describe yourself to a blind person?
Right. Okay. Well, as you said, I'm a mum of 3. I'm middle-aged. I'm 55. I'm someone that is, what I really value a lot is truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of, in a way, what's led me down my health journey. I'm very, very curious. And I think what I've always found science really interesting, even though I'm not hugely sort of brainy or anything. I've just loved biology. I've always helped people in my sort of lifetime. Like even when I was a little girl, I loved to babysit. And then I ended up working with children and families and helping people with their speech and literacy, which I really loved. And I just think I'm quite energetic. And what I truly love also, I just think we've been given these bodies to live in on this planet, and that we should thoroughly respect them and do everything we can to sort of live our best life and the best health for ourselves.
Yeah, so you are passionate about health, it sounds like, but wonderful. And I would say you are a very heart-centered woman. From the little I have gotten to know you, you are a sweetheart. And I love, yes, you really are. And I think that people like yourself is really needed in the world, because there is so much hardness, and you with your you have a sensitive being and a sweetness about you and a light about you, which I really appreciate.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what do you do in short?
In short, I love to help mature women reclaim their health, power, and vitality. And I really want to move women from feeling frustrated to feeling fabulous, because I've been there and I know what it's like. And I feel so amazing now as in my mid-50s. I feel better than I did really when I was in my 20s. And I just see women around me, just not feeling their best. And I would love to help to that.
Oh, that is such a gift that you're giving, because it's so important as we age that we feel good in our bodies. And so many women are struggling and don't know when they go through menopause, etc., how to deal with with their hormones and weight, and we can age so much better if we know how our bodies work. And I assume that is one of the things that you help them with. So I believe that we are called to change our path in life professionally, either due to a calling, like it's a strong calling, and we feel like we're building on our talents and strengths, and there's just something that we see is needed in the world. Or we have come to a new life situation, we are an empty nester, or we have moved to a new country and we need to reinvent ourselves. Or another way is when we have had big challenges ourselves. We have been faced with an accident or some, health issue or relationship issue that has just woken us up. What was the main reason for you getting, changing career and getting into the path that you are on right now?
Oh, well, it's kind of a two-pronged answer to that, really, because I'd started my journey about 5 years ago, my sort of health transformation, and that was really initiated by me having my own health concerns. I had a really big, massive uterine fibroid, this big, so I had to have a total abdominal hysterectomy. And I had some other health conditions like poor B12 absorption, brain fog, exhaustion, and I was 17 kilos heavier than I am now. And what I was doing earlier wasn't working. So that was my transformation. There was one thing, but I had not yet become a health coach. And then my husband of 33 years passed away 3 years ago, from quite suddenly, sort of 6 weeks after diagnosis with bowel cancer. So then I'm left sort of thinking, what do I do? I'm now going to have to be the sole provider. I've got my 3 boys. I didn't really know at one point, if there'd be any money coming my way. I was going to go into nursing, but I've always been so passionate about health, and I just looked and thought, what do I really, really, truly love? And this was it. So I bit the bullet, and that's how it's gone. Yeah.
Beautiful. But what a story. Wow. So you see yourself, with 17 kilos more, and your husband passes away so sadly, and you're standing there wondering how to survive, taking care of your 3 boys. Wow, it's a very, very heavy load on your shoulders, and I really feel for you. And so how did you then manage? What was your strategy to come back and lose that weight and find the strength to go forward?
Well, the weight had come off really before he'd passed away, and I'd sort of, was already on that sort of really healthy trajectory. But in terms of moving forward after he passed away, it's really, I just had this knowing, well, really, you've only got a very simple choice. Your choice is to either you fall in a heap and, I cried a lot for a lot of months, but I always knew that I just, this was going to be this is what I was faced with, and you can either move forward or collapse in a heap. And it helps a lot when you've got children dependent on you to move forward. So I also know that you always grow through challenges, and I just had to trust that. I actually had to really trust that everything was going to be okay, and that something would pan out, and that I would be okay. And that was quite a big thing, because I've been in this relationship since I was 19, and prior to that, a girl living at home. So I've never really, I wasn't married late. I didn't have to do a lot of, I've never really been truly independent. My whole identity was wrapped in with being a partner and a wife and a mother who had a small sort of job. So it's been really exciting also, if you look at,
Yes, I can imagine that you must have grown so much, because, when we are in a relationship, we share the work, our partner does, so many of the things that we don't really have to do. And now you have to do it all. But as you say, the challenges really makes us grow if we can face the challenges with a positive mindset, which you really have done. So congratulations to you for having such a constructive mindset, and I'm happy for you that you have seemed to have found your path, even though you have not been on it for that long. And but you look very optimistic about life, and that's a very good attitude to have.
But
So
there's always those little there's, don't anyone get this wrong. There's all those doubts and fears, and there's just little girl Sari there on the inside going, what?
yeah, yes, don't we all have? Yes. So how do you quiet down that little Sari inside your head?
Oh, well, actually, I do like to meditate. Since my husband passed away, I mean, I did it a long, long time ago, very briefly. I had a quite a significant experience when I was at uni.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really quite amazing sort of experience, and I didn't really do it for years and years, but not that long after he passed away and I was feeling quite stressed, it was just this knowing that the only way to calm me down was to really sit down and breathe. And I just seem to remember how I used to meditate, and I lit a candle and I just turned on some calming music, and then it almost immediately became a daily practice of sometimes up to an hour. I haven't done it as much lately, but using my breath, even if it's just counting into 4, holding it out for 4, that helps. And those negative thoughts, I just think, look, a thought is not reality, is it? You can do all the positive self-talk. Actually, Anina, a lot of it's got to do with thinking that if you can sit next to your loved one dying, and if you can face the fear of not knowing what your future is going to be, anything else is really not that scary. And what's the worst that can happen? So that's usually what I do.
Oh, that's a very good attitude to have. Exactly. No, you have gone through, one of the most challenging that a human can experience is really, losing a loved one is so tough. And that's a very, very nice reminder, that if we've gone through that, you can go through anything really. And that is, meditation has been also a practice for me since I was very young. On and off, I've also been leaning on to meditation as a way to center and calm myself. And it's made a huge difference to my life. And now, meditation is becoming has become such a trend. When we started it out, I don't think that it was very common. But I'm so glad it's becoming more and more mainstream, because this is, I can guarantee that the world will look better if we have more meditators that can manage their emotions and center themselves and connect with themselves through their breath and through quieting the mind.
And there's actually a lot of research now that's actually showing, there probably has been for decades, but I think people are really getting aware of the science that it truly has an impact on mental health and even our physical health. And
yes, for sure. I think I was told when I started the meditation years ago, like 40 years ago, it seems like now. Yeah, it actually is 40 years ago. It seems like I'm very old, which I am. I'm actually, yes, I'm actually 2 years older than you, so I'm 57. So that our organs really get a chance to recuperate and do its job when we meditate. And that when you look into the organs of people who have meditated for years, they throughout their whole life, they oftentimes have a like 30-year younger body or organs than their peers.
Just started back when I was 6.
Yes, exactly. So what is, if you were to talk about one thing that you did that really made a big difference to your health, if you were to kind of share some little skill or something that is important for people who are listening, who are having challenges with their health in relationship to, I said, mostly the weight that you are helping people to manage, or what particularly is it that the difference that you are making?
Right. So metabolic health coach is really about metabolism. And one of the biggest sort of health concerns today is the growth of metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndromes, the cluster of issues which are cardiovascular diseases, the cancers, dementia, and diabetes, and all these conditions are growing, despite the fact that we all know that exercise is good for us and that eating a varied diet is good for us. So we're actually more aware of what health is, and yet these conditions have just ballooned. They're far higher than they used to be. And metabolic health is about, or the symptoms of having metabolic syndrome are when you've got low HDL, you've got adiposity or fat around your waist, you've got high blood pressure, you might be insulin resistance, and there's one more thing which escapes me. But so it's really about how our body uses glucose and insulin. So the one tip, if I should get back to that,
Yes,
that I have done has been to, well, it's kind of in tandem. I actually increased the amount that I was eating, in particular, the amount of protein and bioavailable protein. I really increased that, and the amount of fat that I was eating, and I cut back almost to zero the amount of carbohydrate that I was eating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does a breakfast look like for you?
Oh, well, people think I'm a little bit extreme. And also, Matt, can I just point out, as a health coach, it's never my role to tell people how to eat or to prescribe diets or give instructions or give them fitness things. You know, that's out of my scope. I'm not a fitness trainer or a dietitian or anything, or a doctor. So what a health coach would do is just help guide that person to achieve their best health in the way that they choose, and whatever that means for them.
Yes.
And really help them discover what works for them and what they want to achieve for their health. But when it comes to my breakfast, I mean, you might have heard of, time restricted eating, and that some people use a 60, an 18. Oh, I can't do my sums, like, like an 18-6 window for eating.
Yes.
So generally speaking, I get up and I have a coffee, double shot. Now, coffee's not the greatest thing for me for a reason, but I have it anyway because we can't.
Good. We have to be, a little bad, or
We've got our vices anyway. So I have a coffee, but it's made with pure cream. So it's literally a glass of sort of like pure cream with coffee. So it's not milk or thick milk. It's literally pouring cream. You could have just got it straight out of.
Wow.
And then that keeps me going because I use fat as my energy source. And then that keeps me going. Some days I might have a lunch around 12 because I like to. Sometimes I don't eat until 4 o'clock. Sometimes, mostly, I have 1 or 2 steaks with grass-fed butter. If I feel like it, I'll have smoked salmon, or I'll have salami, or I'll have chicken, or I'll have prawns. I have a very meat-heavy diet and a very fat-heavy diet. And, you can have vegetables with that if you want to. If I go to someone's house for dinner and there's veggies, I eat it. But I have done the whole deep dive into my health, and I have this specialist sort of doctor that does 300, biological tests on me. And there are certain things that I'm meant to avoid for my gut issues. So that's a little bit boring. And I was also previously already diagnosed with being celiac. So I'd already had to put in a lot of restrictions, which was annoying. And I didn't really believe it for many years. I sort of thought it was Parkinson's. So for me, sort of restricting what I eat hasn't been too much of a challenge, but I recognize that for some people that is.
Mm-hmm. Wow, how interesting. So I love that you say that, you know, you are not telling people what to eat, particularly that, but you are helping them to find out what works for them. I think that's absolutely the best way to go about guiding people, as I am a coach myself. You know, imposing our ideas onto others is not going to work. And it's very interesting to hear how you eat. You know, that would never ever work for me, you know. So but I've also have a quite heavy protein protein heavy diet, which that does me really well as well. So but wonderful. So what difference does it make to you to being able to help other people, you know, with your experience and knowledge?
Do you mean how does my knowledge
yeah
the way
sorry. So how, you know, that you now are a coach and you're helping other people, what difference does it make to you in your life? What kind of meaning or difference or fulfillment do you experience by helping others this way?
it's just, it is so deeply rewarding,
Mm.
you know, to see that you can get people off some of their medications, to see people wake up in the morning and not have joint pain, and to be able to get out of bed and have more energy, and you know, they just got a radiance. It is so rewarding, and
Mm-hmm.
of course it's nice to feel that you had played a part in that, you know. We
Mm-hmm.
all, you know, there is this reward for me
Yes.
seeing other people, but you know, there's so much more to it in a way, because there's been, having been, it's not just the coaching, I've also become now this single woman out in the dating world, which many women find themselves in for all manner of reasons. And so it's also great because when people feel better about themselves in their health and in their well-being, and then mentally, it affects your self-esteem, and it really affects the way you sort of go out into the world. Mm-hmm. So I also see women just sort of just feeling great about themselves and feeling really powerful and sort of sexy. Yes. And so that's great.
That's beautiful. What a gift. Yes. So no wonder you are passionate about your work, because I very much believe that when we connect with the difference we are making with what we are doing, you know, that gives us, I actually get goosebumps just thinking about, you know, how important that is, because, you know, so many people are going through just working to pay the bills, and it's so wonderful when we have found our passion and where we feel alive, more energetic due to the work that we're doing. It doesn't exhaust us, right? It's like, bring it on, you know, I want to do more. And so so that is so wonderful. Sorry. And you know, with Zoom, you know, you can talk to people and coach people from around the world, which I do as well. You know, I work helping people identify their life purpose, basically. You know, what is it that is your unique true gift, and how can you show up in the world, you know, expressing that. But it's a lot more than that. But I have been working now with people around the world, which is like one of my passions, and I'm so excited to see you also being able to offer your services around the world. So how can people reach you, or the best way to get in contact with you if they want your support?
Oh, well, if they wanted my support, I would love it if they would email me at Sari, SARI.p @Big Pond, Big Pond, BIGPOND.com.
Perfect. I'm going to put it also in the you know, in the description on YouTube. So wonderful, Sari. Well, this was a very exciting conversation to have with you. I feel delighted to have gotten to know a little bit more about you and the beautiful work that you are doing. And for anyone listening, please take contact with Sari, because she's such a delight.
Thank
And you will feel very safe and held by her. And yes, and let's go and do what we can to improve our health and well-being, so we can feel strong and alive and live our, best lives, as long as we are alive, right?
Absolutely.
Yay! Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Nina. Been lovely to be here. I really appreciate this time you've spent.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.